In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of items and our item list. I'm in the Moto 401 default layout, and I want to draw your attention to the right-hand portion of your screen called the item list, which is this tab here that says item. As you can see here, the item list is a list of all the individual items that are currently in our scene. The item list is also going to tell you the name of your scene file. And right now my scene isn't named, it's just the default untitled. But inside my untitled scene, I have a series of items. I have this cube, I have my camera, and I have my directional light. Let's talk about the cube. The cube is considered a mesh item. A mesh item. And I know it's a mesh item based off of its icon. See how I have a little blue cube there? That means it's a mesh item. And a mesh item is a container for our polygons, edges, and vertices. Let's create a new item. We're going to create a new mesh item. The cube goes to the background, and this one becomes the foreground element because it's selected. So, like I said, mesh items are just gigantic containers. We can put polygons, edges, and vertices inside different mesh items. Let's just create a little cylinder here. So I just created some polygons, and they were placed inside this mesh item. Now we can rename any of these items here by right-clicking on them and choosing rename from the overall dialog box. Let's just choose, I don't know, let's call this cylinder. There we go, and hit return, and then the name is updated in our item list. Now, if you want to keep your scene a little bit more organized and move things around, you can totally do that. If I click on this icon here and drag up and down, I can reorganize and parent items to one another. If I click on an item and drag it on top of another item, I can parent that item to it. So if I was to move the cube, watch my cylinder, the cylinder is going to come with it. So they're parented, they're connected now. They have a relationship. If I wanted to unparent my cylinder from my cube, again, I can just click on the cylinder and drag out, and now they're unconnected. We can also select our cameras, our directional lights, and a series of other items in our scene. Let's go back to our cube. Here we go, just moving around. Spacebar to drop the tool. It's also important to remember that you can activate the visibility of certain items as well. If you look over here on the leftmost portion of this list, you're going to see these little eyeballs. Now, these eyeballs represent visibility. So you can see my cylinder here. The visibility of my cylinder is turned off, and I can see the background wireframe of that cylinder in my viewport. Now, if I wanted to get rid of that, I could just click on I could toggle the visibility by clicking on the eyeball, and now it's gone. We haven't deleted it. It's just the visibility of that item has been turned off. We can turn it back on, and it's still there. We can do the same thing for our cube. Just turn it on and off as well. So items are a list of objects that we use to create our three-dimensional scene. As you get more into modeling and more into Moto, our items become a little bit more complex. There are other items in our scene that we can create. If we choose the new item option here, you can see all the different types of items that we can create. So there's quite a few that we can create. As we go through, we're going to talk a lot about these individual items in detail a little bit later on, but just know that you can create them using this menu here.